Being a baller in GTA Online requires you to own a few crucial things, and unfortunately, friends are not something you can buy on the market, so for a lot of you watching this video, you'll have to figure out a way to play GTA Online solo. Thankfully, over the past few years, Rockstar has made it extremely easy for us lone wolves out there by improving the invite-only lobby accessibility, which lets us do pretty much everything that you can do in public lobbies nowadays, but without that added benefit of mentally unstable 12-year-olds constantly chasing you around on oppressors and blowing up your sale vehicles. However, there are still a few key items that every solo player must own in GTA Online to make their experience a lot better, and for the most part, what these items do is make your grind a lot easier. But some of them are also just plain fun to use, and that's why in today's video, I'm going to share with you my top tips on the 10 best items to own as a solo player in GTA Online. Starting with the Duke of Death, which is a free armored car that you can grab on Warstock Cash and Carry just by logging in and visiting the website. Nothing is better than free, and the Duke comes with 0 strings attached, so you're not giving up anything at all for the privilege of owning this awesome muscle car, which, by the way, also packs a bunch of armored plates on every part of its body. Alternatively, if you're willing to spend a bit of cash here, that armored Kuruma is also still an excellent choice as it offers slightly improved protection against small arms fire from the front, and you also have a higher degree of freedom while shooting out of the vehicle, unlike the Duke, which won't really let you aim out the passenger side window. The Kuruma does cost $700,000, which is a bargain in the modern era of GTA inflation, and if you do the Fleece job, one of the OG heists, you'll unlock the trade price of just $525,000. Also, if you reach tier 4 on OG heist in the career progress menu, you can even get the armored Kuruma for free, which is a nice little tip for all you completionists out there. Item number 2 on my list is going to be the venerable Hakucha Drag, which already was a beast on the track and freeways, but now it's become even better after the Money Fronts update because you can finally fit in a Monitech lock-on jammer to this bike, making it nearly impossible to aim at with homing missiles unless the other guy has godlike aim. While vehicles like the armored Kuruma and Duke of Death are perfectly fine for grinding missions, they aren't necessarily the fastest way to get around the map. But the Hakucha Drag, with its top speed of 157 miles an hour, is the 6th fastest HSW vehicle in the entire game, and in practice it's actually just as fast as the Banshee GTS, if not faster, because you can effortlessly weave through traffic and its acceleration leaves cars in the dust, so you'll be able to maintain an extremely high average speed even if you do a lot of turning and braking along the way. The Hakucha Drag does cost a bit of money to buy and modify with HSW performance parts, but it can also make you that money back really fast with both regular as well as HSW time trials. Every week you can earn easily $350,000 by doing both time trials, and over a month that adds up to $1.4 million. Once you include the money you'll be making from races and all the time that you save by moving between your businesses at breakneck speeds, the Drag will pay for itself several times over, just within 1 month. If you want slightly more speed on the top end and you aren't so comfortable with how bikes handle in GTA Online, of course you can feel free to replace that Hakucha Drag with a different vehicle like the Banshee GTS, for example, but it's also going to cost you more, so just keep that in mind. And if you'd like to go a step further, there's only one medium of travel left, the air, and few things are as good in the air as the infamous Oppressor Mark II, which is a flying bike that shoots missiles. You guys probably know this vehicle by now. I'm sure I don't really have to tell you why the Oppressor Mark II is both one of the most feared and coveted items in the entire game. However, the reason I recommend it to solo players out there is not so you can go out there and grief people. Instead, I recommend the Oppressor Mark II because it still is the grinder's best friend in this game. Think about it. This bike will fit into places where no other aircraft can go. You can cram it into alleyways, sheds, car parks, and rooftops with ease, and it's a lot easier to control than a helicopter because of how stable it feels. No weird swaying animations, no rotor blades smashing into buildings, and most importantly, 0 engine spool up. You just sit on it and take off immediately. Plus, it comes with a rocket boost for when you need that extra burst of speed, and that comes instantaneously. Is the Oppressor Mark II the fastest aerial vehicle in the game? No, but it will hit a sustained 107 miles an hour, and it doesn't have to adhere to the road network, which means you can just fly in a straight line from point A to point B, and that's going to get you to your destination much faster than using a Banshee GTS or Hakucha Drag. Plus, if you use that old brake boost technique, you can easily get the Oppressor up to 130 miles an hour just by tapping the handbrake bumper. This will cause you to lose some altitude over time, but that's something you can easily correct and climb back up just to do it again. And then we have the offensive capability of the Mark II, which is second to none, simply because of how easy it is to maneuver around targets on this thing. You can run circles around your enemies, and the tracking on the homing missiles, even after the nerfs it got, are still really good. Not quite on the level of the Vigilante or Ruiner 2000, but good enough to pull some really hard turns and reliably hit moving targets. Most of the time with the Oppressor Mark II, you just fly to a destination, press your homing missiles a few times, land, collect whatever the mission needs you to collect, and fly away. It's that easy, and it's honestly a little too good at what it does, which is why it can make the game boring after a while if you don't switch things up. That's why I like to mix in the Sparrow helicopter with my Oppressor Mark II for a nice 1-2 combo of speed and firepower. The Sparrow's missiles aren't as good as the ones on the Oppressor Mark II, but they are unlimited, and the Sparrow is much faster in the air with a top speed of 168 miles an hour, so if you just need to cover a lot of distance in the shortest time possible, say if you need to go from the city all the way up to Paleto Bay for a mission, well then there is nothing better in the game to use except maybe the Raiju. But the Raiju does cost an astronomical $6.8 million, while the Sparrow can be yours for just $4 million. Let me break down that cost factor. First, you need $2.2 million to buy the Kasaka, and then that unlocks the option for you to purchase a Moonpool vehicle, and this is the only way to own a Sparrow. And you summon it by selecting the Kasaka from the Service Vehicles section from your interaction menu. As good as the Sparrow is, you're also getting an excellent business in the form of the Kasaka, which opens up the Cayo Perico heist. This can make you over $1 million on average per hour, and unlike the Diamond Casino or Doomsday heist, Cayo Perico doesn't require a 2-player minimum to complete. Even though Pavel keeps yapping about friends, you don't have to bring any. Yes, the cooldown between heists will go up if you play solo, but who cares? It's probably better that way because I don't see myself doing more than 1 Cayo a day, and that's if I decide to do Cayo anymore. After all these years of grinding and the multitude of nerfs to payouts and stealth and enemies, Cayo is just something I only play occasionally because I'm just so bored of it. But if you're starting out and you want to earn lots of money fast, there's honestly no better heist in the game to be doing. Next, let's talk about one of the only weaponized vehicles in the game that you can use in heists, and that is the Vigilante, aka the not Batmobile. I mean, just look at this thing. It's obvious what they were going for, and I'm surprised it doesn't come with a complimentary utility belt full of cool little gadgets. All jokes aside though, the Vigilante is just insanely good. It's a hulking behemoth of a vehicle, and at 7.5 tons is also one of the heaviest road vehicles in the game, which means you can just ram into civilian vehicles and they'll fly right out of the way. The windows are bullet resistant, just like armored Amani Tech vehicles, which means they will eventually shatter after absorbing 15 or 20 shots from NPCs, but until then, you can stay protected in your giant metal cocoon as you fly all over the place with your rocket boost, dispensing homing missile justice to the criminals and mercenaries of Los Santos. And while we're on the topic of homing missiles here, few other vehicles do it like the Vigilante does. I don't know what kind of freaky tech Batman put into this thing, but these missiles will literally pull a 360 no-scope on enemies as soon as they exit the tube. If you're okay with a reduction in firepower in exchange for better protection against missiles, the weaponized Ignis is also an excellent alternative here, but it does cost more than the Vigilante, and you lose those amazing homing missiles. And then there's the Terabyte up next, a mobile command center which is the most difficult vehicle to destroy in the entire game once you install a missile lock-on jammer plus a silent running upgrade. Not that those features really matter in PvE because your enemies don't use RPGs or homing missiles, but even in that scenario, the Terabyte still shines with its recently added master control terminal. This functions exactly like the one in the arcade, except it's cheaper and the Terabyte drives to you instead of you driving to the arcade. Just spawn into the map, go into your service vehicle menu, call the Terabyte, hop in, takes 10 seconds total, and now you have full access to every business that you own. Nightclub, hangar, warehouse, bunker, MC businesses, all of it. You don't want to initiate a sell mission from here, as the vehicles will still spawn next to that business that you're doing the sell mission for, but you can easily buy resupplies or start sourcing missions from the Terabyte if you'd like. And if you combine this vehicle with an Iron Mule, it'll make your grind at least 50% faster because the Terabyte also helps you keep your businesses fed with supplies at all times, while the Iron Mule lets you skip the tedium of driving your sell vehicles as you can just airlift many of them and drop them off at the destination. The Iron Mule won't hook up to MC delivery vehicles, but it will work with hangar, nightclub, as well as insurgents that you get with the bunker, so that's pretty nice right there. Another must-have for solo players in the game is the exceptionally useful agency business, and that's going to provide excellent money-making potential along with unrivaled utility. First and foremost, you have the security contracts and payphone hits, which can be requested at any time simply by calling up Franklin on the phone, or you can access the security contracts from your agency computer. These take 5 to 10 minutes to complete, and they pay out $40,000 to $50,000 on average. Then you have the office safe, which accumulates money daily, and depending on how many total security contracts you've done, that'll max out at $20,000 every 48 minutes once you do the required 201 security contracts. And then there is that infamous Dr. Dre contract, which just got a whole lot better because because now you can finally skip the dang cutscenes, bringing the completion time just from an hour and 30 minutes maybe down to just over an hour for $1.1 million in guaranteed income. Same as Cayo Perico, but personally I find the content in Dr. Dre to be a lot more entertaining here. And then you also have the Amani Tech Workshop, which can only be accessed through the agency. This lets you install those armor upgrades on eligible vehicles, as well as that lock-on jammer that we've mentioned, which is the single best anti-griefer tool in existence right now. And the good news doesn't stop there, because the agency also comes with a fast travel network via the SUV service, a free Super Valido carbon helicopter that you can use anytime while exiting the building, as well as an armory that also sells body armor and equipment so you can stay topped up on armor and snacks every time you visit the agency. Item number 8 on my list is the Nightclub, and it's still the best source of passive income in 2025, I think. Once you own a Terabyte with a master control terminal, you don't even have to visit your nightclub itself to boost the popularity, as you can just rebook those DJs for $10,000 every in-game day from the Terabyte. And this is also going to skip that cutscene that plays if you do the same thing from your main nightclub computer. Most people just go down a level, but now you don't even need to do that because you can do it from your Terabyte. You make $50,000 every 48 minutes with your nightclub wall safe, and a further $50,000 if you assign 5 technicians to the most profitable businesses in your warehouse management section. These 5 businesses correspond to the CEO special cargo warehouse that you own, or the hangar, the bunker, the Coca-Cola MC business lockup, the math lab for the MC businesses, as well as the counterfeit cash factory. And once you have these technicians assigned, you pretty much never have to visit your nightclub unless you need to empty that safe for money or start a sell mission. And sell missions are also super chill with the nightclub. You get exactly 1 delivery vehicle, and if you skip purchasing the Iron Mule, you'll always get either the Speedo Custom with smaller nightclub delivery amounts in stock, or if you're selling a full nightclub or close to full, or just way more that you would otherwise get the Mule for, since you don't own it, the game will just assign you the Pounder Custom, and you can earn close to $1 million at a time every 20 real-life hours. The hands-on car wash was just added to the game with the Money Fronts update, and I have to say, there are a few better ways to earn money and have fun as a solo player. Money laundering operations are short and packed full of action. They take less than 6 minutes to complete, and there is 0 cooldown other than that heat meter. Plus, you can earn $28,000 a day with the car wash safe if you have every other business in the game purchased, and that means it is the second most profitable safe in the game after the one in your nightclub. The car wash also opens up 2 other businesses for you: Smoke on the Water and Higgins Helitours. Plus, it boosts all your counterfeit cash income by 35%, making it one of the highest value investments in the entire game. Smoke on the Water, if you own it, increases your grass sale values by 35%, and Higgins Helitours increases your hangar cargo sale values by 10% respectively. This business is just $1 million for that price, and you get a centralized location, built-in personal quarters, and a ton of mission variety. Finally, we have the Venerable Acid Lab, which is also a solo grinder's best friend, as it gives you $351,000 every 3 hours if you have the upgraded equipment and that production speed boost. The Acid Lab is also super easy to manage, as you can call it right next to you from the service vehicle section, and you don't even have to visit the vehicle to buy resupplies. You can just call your assistant Mutt on the phone and he'll do it for you. Plus, you get a single cell vehicle every time, the rugged Manchez Scout, which is definitely one of the best off-roaders in the entire game, and an exceptionally easy bike to use. And if all this doesn't entice you here, remember that the Brigade 6x6 you use is completely free if you just do the first dose quest line, and once you do last dose, you'll also get that free Ocelot Virtue. Then you can use the money you made from these missions to install the equipment in your Acid Lab, and you can do 10 Fooligan missions for Dax to unlock the upgrades, which further increases the amount of product that you make with each bar of supplies. In fact, the Acid Lab might be the only business in the entire game that Rockstar kind of just gives to you, because you get paid enough on the content you need to do in order to unlock it that it'll cover the cost on you actually getting access to it. And that alone is enough to make it a must-have for solo players as well as new players alike. And there you have it. Those are the top 10 must-have purchases for solo players updated for the year 2025. I'm sure you guys have your own recommendations and preferences on what to buy, so please let me know your own list in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Drop a like if you guys did go on to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and you want to see more GTA Online content like this. Also, feel free to check out my Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram links. All of them will be linked down in the description below, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv for daily GTA Online money grinding live streams. I would love to have you guys get involved with the community over on there. And also check out my YouTube shorts and TikToks for daily short form, rapid fire tips, tricks, news, tutorials, guides, and more. I upload those every single day. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.